Viewer discretion is advised.
What up, heel faction? Welcome back to Heel Shit. Why do we call it that? Because bad guys do heel shit. I'm Dark Cordz, that's Draven Grimes, and Draven, if you will introduce this lady.
Hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of at least 16 years of age or older, because if you're listening to this, you're under that age, your parents are terrible influences. I give you the generational superstar of my teenage years. I give you Victoria.
Nice.
Thank you guys for having me. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm excited for this.
We're gonna get deep into this. Viewers, if you have questions and we have time at the end, we will point those out, and we'll be right back right after this.
Cool. Living fast, we ain't slowing down. Always ready to turn heads around. Heel Shit Podcast, where the bad boys reign. Never following the norm, always causing pain.
All right, how's everybody doing?
Oh,
Hey out there, how's everybody doing?
Very good.
Doing fantastic.
Awesome. I hope everybody tuned in. I did a video for you guys. I'd like everybody to do well when they do interviews. So
Yes, we appreciate
I'm not
it
just
very
talking
much.
to 10 people. That happens. Hey, I just started a Twitch. When I started, I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Well, hey, we do about 1 million downloads a month on our audio podcasts,
Awesome.
and we're just trying to grow this video channel now also. So
Then I can learn from you guys.
all right.
So how's everything been? Last time we saw you, you were on SmackDown a couple months ago, I believe back in February.
Yes, it was in San Diego, and I asked if I could be a guest, and oh my gosh, they had a gal that hung out with me the whole day, and I go, you don't have to, you don't have to hang out with me. Go, you can go do what you need to do. She goes, no, I'm here for you. And I go, oh my God, what? I go, oh my gosh. She goes, I'm walking to your seat, and I was just like, this is incredible. I was on the Vault WWE interview.
Yes.
And it was the backstage environment, super positive. It's just the same crew, camera, cable, sound, and everything. That was all the same. And it was just great to see everybody. And the girls are just kicking ass. And I just wanted to go and support, WWE, so, because I'm still a fan too,
Right. And I know when I was watching it live and I saw you pop up, I immediately jumped up like, she's back, right? Right. Like I called you about it, and you're like, there's no fucking way. And I was like, no, go rewind the DVR. It's right there. And sure as shit. So, what led to you getting the Legends contract?
I don't know. I have no clue. I have when they called me, I saw the 203 area code and I let it go to voicemail, and he didn't leave a voicemail. I said, hey, sorry, I'm running errands. I'm at the post office. It was John Cone. And he goes, hey, we want to offer you a Legends contract, which is called Nostalgia contract now.
Right.
And I called him back. I go, hey, I was lying. I just saw the Connecticut area code, and it brought back so many memories. Like, oh my God, am I getting fired? Am I getting in trouble for using, or if I'm using Victoria, and I sell 8x10s, are they going to tell me I'm not allowed to do something? And I was crying and I was shaking. I didn't even ask what it entails. I said, what am I not allowed to do? And he said, hey, do you sell t-shirts? And I go, yes, I can cancel if you need me to cancel t-shirts. He goes, not yet. He goes, it's not a problem right now. He goes, are you starting to write a book? And I go, no. I go, actually was hoping WWE would write my book. And he goes, good. He goes, good. But that doesn't mean anything. Everything's up in there. You know how everything's subject to change in this business. Yes. So yeah, who knows? And I just got added to the PlayStation. I'm sorry, the video game.
Yes, huge congratulations on that.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm on Twitch now, and I bought the PS5. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, how expensive! I I was one of those, as a kid, I was one of those kids that couldn't afford Atari and would go to my friend's house that had an Atari game. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
When I bought this, I was like, what? Oh my gosh. And so I got to hook it up, and who knows? I hope I get the hang of it. The control looks very difficult, and not just like a joystick and the fire button, right?
No,
You know?
I'll say this: as far as the controls go, they've really simplified them in the past few years. Ever since 2K came back from 2K20, so you should have no problem picking it up and really get to play, especially if you like played WrestleMania on the NES or Super NES or anything like that.
I never did. No.
Oh.
No. I think I did one at maybe at the WWF restaurant back in the day. They had fans play against us, and I sucked at it. It was really difficult to learn. So I'm glad that you told me it's easy, because
it is. And there's also
I can't curse on Twitch because mine is not 18 and over. So I got to watch my mouth.
Right.
You know?
But another good thing about the 2K game is they have like a full tutorial section that will like break it down for you step by step if that's what you need as well.
Okay. I do. Maybe you can play the game against me as a practice before I go on Twitch.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'd be fun.
So, speaking of the Legends deal, and I'm going to kind of skirt into my own rant about something.
This ain't the first time this month.
Every year, it rolls around, and every year, I'm like, why is Victoria not in the WWE Hall of Fame? And every time they like this year, Michelle McCool got it, and I'm like, I'm happy for her, but where the fuck is Victoria? Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, have they ever asked? Is there any plan?
They don't tell you anything, honestly. And also, too, I didn't want to, like, you don't ask, hey, can you put me in the Hall of Fame?
Oh, of course not.
You know, I got the Legends contract, and I was like, oh, I got a Legends contract. Baby steps. Oh my gosh, I'm back under the umbrella. And it's like getting signed for the first time for me. You know, I was crying. I called Tori, I called Michelle. I with my best friends, and I was bawling. I go, oh my God, I got a Legend. They're like, well, it's about time. I go, I'm so excited. And I saw there was like trading cards already produced. And I was like, hey, I hope you guys can send me those. And they're like, oh no, it's digital. And I go, digital trading cards? I go, I have never heard of it. So that's new to me, but there's some out already. So, action figure, hopefully the first thing I did say when they called me though, I did say, oh my God, do I get a Funko Pop? And he goes, okay. Oh, he goes, don't get ahead of yourself. And I go, okay. I had some, look from this side, custom ones made. And they're very expensive to get custom ones made. I'll just tell you that. Oh, yeah. But I always wanted a Funko Pop. You know what I mean? Action figures are super cool. But I always wanted a Funko Pop. You know, just it's the little things.
It's the little things. Absolutely.
You know?
Really, in this day and age, the Funko Pop basically says you've made it. Like, think of everything that's in Funko form now.
And you guys know that I'm a nerd, so I go to a lot of Comic Cons. That's my guilty pleasure. I like to work them, but it's a guilty. I get to enjoy them too, you know, and nerd out and look at the Funko Pops are on every other booth, right? And I'm just like, oh, someday I'll have a Funko Pop. You know what I mean? Yes, yeah. I'm excited. You know, baby steps. That was just a big deal for me to get. You guys have no idea, and I know everybody's pissed off about the Hall of Fame. I'm very good friends with Michelle. I'm happy for her. And people are like, well, maybe it's not too late. They might call you and maybe they'll do 2 girls. And I go, no. It's in a couple weeks. I go, I would have to do a speech. I have WrestleCon. I already paid for my table and all this kind of my flight, my hotel. I go, no. I need more prep time, you know?
Right.
So, and yesterday I just went shopping to buy my Hall of Fame outfit. So that's a headache. I just don't like shopping. I'm an Amazon girl. I like ordering everything.
Yeah, me too. I just got something for the office, and Draven was like, you could have just went across the street to Walmart It's like,
I know.
it'll be here tomorrow. You know, what's the big
I know.
deal?
That's me. You're just like me. Like, okay, I have CVS across the street. I still order my Excedrin migraine from Amazon. I don't want to go outside. And this COVID ruined me. I'm such a sheltered homebody I'm a
Yeah.
super loner. I'm a loner, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
sure.
And I used to be an extrovert, like huge extrovert, but now I'm an introvert extrovert, I guess.
Makes sense. I think everybody kind of became an introvert during the COVID season.
Yeah.
God knows I
got
did.
screwed up. We all got screwed up from that.
Yes, we did.
No social skills. No social skills. When I went to go try on outfits, I asked the lady, I go, why are they're attached? I can't try on. They're separate pieces. And she goes, well, I don't have the machine here. You have to go up in the front. And I go, oh, okay. I didn't know that. I go, I gave you my items and you knew that they were connected. And then I go, ma'am, can you let me know, do these fit? Is this length okay for me? And she goes, you might have to get it altered a little bit. She was so rude. And I don't ever complain. I did complain to the manager. I just said, when you're in customer service, when I was in the restaurant business, you got to be nice, man. And if you hate your job, quit. You know what I mean? And I'm downtown San Diego. There's a lot of homeless, and they only let a few people in at a time. Remember how COVID? There's a line outside. They still do it, but for theft. That's how bad downtown San Diego is. It's really dangerous out there. I mean, just not dangerous. It's just a lot of homeless, like everywhere. You know what I mean? It's sad. It's sad.
Felt like downtown Jacksonville. So I got one more question for you as far as the nostalgia contract, I guess is what we'll call it.
I know, legend. I still like the Legends title. I'm sorry. Right. Legends. Yeah.
Well, you are a legend. Let's make that very clear. You're a bona fide legend. I mean, I've been watching you since I was like 11. So.
Oh my God! Are you freaking kidding me?
What? Yes.
That is crazy. Oh man, you were 11. I get that all the time, and in my mind, I feel like I'm 16 years old.
Right.
So when I meet these, I feel like a teenager. So when I meet people like, oh, I watched you when I was a kid, and I'm like, I'm still a kid. What? Yeah. Okay. So what's your question? I keep on interrupting.
Anyway, with the Legends deal, way back when, like 2002, 2003, you were given the licensing to use the Tattoo song. Is that a possibility we could hear that again? Because as much as I love the WWE Jim Johnson song that you got, Tattoo has been on my playlist since I was 12.
No, I know. I know. I even have, look, I have the single that I sell on my Whatnot.
Okay? Yes.
Is this from overseas, actually? These are really freaking expensive. But we only owned that Tattoo song, the copyrights, for a year. So they didn't want to renew it. Maybe they asked for too much money. I don't know. But when they asked me, they called me to come back to the Rumble, a few years ago. And I said, the only thing I want to ask for is, would you be able to play my Tattoo song? And they're like, we'll see what we can do. And I didn't ask. When I got there, I was already nervous enough. And I was like, oh my God, I'm not in shape. I don't have gear. I had gear made in 2 days. And I was just so nervous. I was vomiting. I get really nervous. Even to this day, when I do indie shows, I still want to go outside and throw up. You know what I mean? But when I didn't ask, hey, what song am I coming out to? So I enter and I hear, I ain't the lady to mess with, that song. And I was like, oh, they couldn't get I bet you the copyrights kind of thing, So yeah. But of course I'm not going to go back and complain because I got brought back for the Rumble. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah.
And of course with mods, I can just change the music.
But that was my favorite. That was my favorite because it was my crazy attitude.
Yes. It fits you perfectly.
Yeah. I know. And
another thing that fits you perfectly was just your style of wrestling, more specifically the maneuvers that you did. We all know the story of the Widow's Peak and how you got it from Roddy and Molly. I need to ask you about this one, and I was going to ask you a couple years ago, but you had a long line at River City, and I didn't want to bother you with it. But I'm not going to have another chance to do it. That Argentine into the sidewalk slam. Where did you come up with that?
my spinning
Yeah, the
Starbucks
spin out
slam,
to the
which
sidewalk slam.
we called it the spider web.
Okay.
Because remember, Undertaker said he remind me of the Black Widow, the pool player. That's why I was like spiders on everything. I
Yes.
put spiders on everything. Crash Holly.
No.
So when us girls would go out in the ring, and which was very common, we would get there super early and Fit Finley, Arn Anderson, Ricky Steamboat, William Regal, Dave Taylor, all these legends are out there because as girls, we were like, what can we learn more? They were very impressed with the women's division because we were there so early and we're like, can you teach me another, like just a simple move? Like, like Arn Anderson, like drag their eyes across the top rope, just little mannerisms that I can learn and moves. And Crash Holly, there was a lot, and then a lot of the boys started coming early and going, probably showing like, oh my God, the girls are getting there early to learn. We should do the same thing. And then, and Lance Storm was there working with us in the ring. Tommy Dreamer, like there were so many guys in the ring teaching us anything, you know what I mean? Like our positioning, like when you have a headlock,
Yes.
our feet and our body language, don't hide your face because this is what's going to tell the story, right? And Crash Holly goes, hey, Victoria, I got a move for you. And he did it to someone. And I did it to Molly Holly. She took it one try. And I love that move. And then I don't know if you saw on that SmackDown that I was on, Bayless did that move. She asked me, she goes, hey, can I do the spider web? I go, I told you, take all my moves. You can have anything. It's an honor for anybody to take my move. And she during the break, I guess overseas people can see, they don't get commercials.
Right.
Must be nice.
During the break, it went black. She came out of the ring and hugged me. And she goes, I'm crying. I can't believe you're watching me live right now. And when she did the spider web, she went like this on her chest, and I lost it. I started bawling. But that move, and every girl that I give it to, that's the funnest move I've ever taken. It's so fun to do. You know what I mean? I've had mistakes where, like, I have them on the torture rack, and they've crisscrossed their legs around my arm, so when I spin them, it doesn't release.
Right.
And I was like, don't hook onto my. They don't know what to do with their legs. And I go, just stay stiff as a board, as a board. And I go, and you help me alley-oop. You put yourself in the position. It takes two to wrestle. You know that.
Oh, yes.
It's not just one person doing the move. It takes two. I hate to spoil it for you guys, but it's like a dance.
Yep.
But I love that move. Thank you for noticing that. But Crash Holly gave me that.
Oh.
Rest in peace. Yeah. Isn't that incredible?
Well, since she said anybody can take it. Do you mind if I bring it into my repertoire? Because I've always wanted to use it, but I'm always that guy that goes, I want to ask first.
Nope. And you know what? It's also very humbling when people were asking me, hey, do you mind if I use the Widow's Peak, or can I do this move? And I go, hey, I'm retired. You please, it'd be an honor. Take it. Yeah. And people will still remember. It's actually homage to say, hey, Victoria used to do that. It's a compliment, I think. So please take it.
Yeah, because for the longest time, you were the only one to ever do it. And I can't think back either with TNA when you were running there, or WWE, or any company since then. It's been a very unique move, and nobody's really capitalized on it. It's kind of a shame.
And do you remember the move? You remember the move too? When I used to grab their hair, turn around, and I put like this, and then I lift them, and they would kick their feet up.
Yes.
Okay, Christy Hemme was the first one to take that. Ricky Steamboat gave me that move. Oh, wow. And I called it just because it was simple, because Christy was very new, so I dumbed down the moves for dangle dangle. I called it the dang, not on TV. Right. I go dangle dangle, meaning I'm going to dangle you from my back, and you're going to be kicking your feet, and I'm going to push you back. You take a face plant. And I tell you, I marked out when Ricky Steamboat and all these legends worked with us in the ring, and we were so God, we wanted to learn so much, and then later on, we would get back to the locker room. We're like, "Do you realize we're learning from these legends, these these guys that we watched?" It's crazy.
Yeah.
But they respected us. They treated us not as girls, as women. They treated us just as equals, as wrestlers. And then Finley was the one that made us super tough, and
Yes, I would imagine
yeah,
so.
he was very snug.
Because
Very
when
snug.
you came in, you had a different
Aura.
aura. Like there were
I know
the
the models.
bleach blondes, the models, and then you came in still stunningly gorgeous, but you could go. Like you had the power to do any of your moves to any of the women on the roster. You looked like you picked up the wrestling part faster than the other girls did.
But don't forget, when I got signed, I immediately went into developmental territory, the
Mhm.
developmental program.
Mhm.
So I was learning from the best. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I wasn't learning from a guy that's never even had 10 matches. Do you know what I mean? That happens a lot in the wrestling school. Now I learned that way later. And but for how we practice, it wasn't just a 2-hour practice. We were, that was our job.
Mhm.
We were there 5, 6, 7 hours,
Yes.
and then we went to go perform at a church, on the corner of a gas station, like anywhere we can get eyes on us. Um, to get in the ring is the experience. But I had great teachers, just
Mhm.
amazing teachers, you know what I mean? That actually stayed after, or I would come in extra early before our classes began to work with me because I was so green. I had no experience in wrestling. I was a
Right.
gymnast,
Mm.
bodybuilder, fitness competitor. I had dance experience, dance background, not stripper, but
Yes,
We understand.
we understand.
cheerleading and like gymnastics routines and stuff like that, and hip hop. And when I got into wrestling, I thought it was memorizing the whole entire match like a dance routine. And the way we learned back then is just to call it like just get, there's some of us that we can get in there. Hey, we know the finish, we know the cutoff,
Mhm.
how are we going to begin? The middle part, like, let's just
Yeah.
let's listen to the crowd and see what they want. If they're not buying it,
Mhm.
if they're not cheering for the baby face, you better cover up your face because I'm gonna freaking throw some punches and cheat and bite and everything to get those fans to hate me.
Right.
And I think
Exactly.
what's lacking today is um, the baby faces sometimes want to get cheered, and that it's, you know what I mean. And I think for me, I was like, if someone's cheering for me, I remember there was one match I went outside. There was a group of there's just a section of this not convention, sorry, arena
Mhm.
that were cheering for me. And I go, oh shit, I can't have this happen. Oh my God, they're cheering. They're making my job harder. So I went out and I saw this girl with her boyfriend. I go, is that your boyfriend? She goes, yeah. And I go, well, he's not dreaming about you. And I rolled back into the ring. And so what does that person say? What did she say to you? What did she say to you? And that whole section started booing me. I go, you gotta boo for the heels, even though
Yeah.
I'm a heel lover. But you gotta, part of
Yeah.
the crowd is part of the soap opera as well. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You're part of
Yeah.
it, regardless. Even though you don't want to be part of it, the cheering and the booing are part of the show. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
Do you agree? Do you agree?
Oh,
Oh,
100%.
But
Yeah.
it's crazy because it's almost rare to run into guys on the indie scene that can call it like that.
Unless they've been doing it for about 10, 12 years.
Yeah,
It's like
I mean-
that
Yeah.
class that I'm in, because I've been doing this for about 15 now. That's how I was brought up. You
Yeah.
call that shit in the ring. And
Yeah.
I know for a fact if Ronnie or Donnie ever found out I was calling stuff in the back, they beat the shit out of me.
Now, I will say that, like, my first pro match, like, I was so nervous that we did script
Yeah.
move for move.
Mhm.
Yeah. You know what though? Okay, so OVW. Okay, I was first at UPW, then I was at MCW with Jerry Lawler School, and then I went to OVW. And I
Mhm.
remember writing down, and they saw me writing down the moves, and they go, "What the?" what is that? And I go, I'm so new. I'm so nervous. I'm going to forget what I'm supposed to do. And they tore it up and they're like, you just go out there and depend on each other. If like, well, and also too, like as a heel, you can kind of control the match. You know what I mean? Because we're listening to the fans more so.
Yes.
So the fans will hate us. Right. And then, I don't need to get all my cool shit in. You know what I mean? I want the baby face to look as, let me beat her up at the beginning and the underdog to come on top.
Right.
But yeah, I did that too. I did that too at the beginning. And when I started, going early at OVW with Eugene and Rob Conway, just come in here. Let's have a match. And I go, well, what are we going to do? And he goes, let's go. We just started locking up, boom, 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 boom. And then, Eugene goes, okay, let's go for the, he led me as a baby face and then, block this, punch, you know what I mean? This is an art you cannot learn. Like, I think people think, hey, I want to be a wrestler. I want to make it next year. You can't learn this craft in a year.
No.
You're freaking insane if you think you can just go in there and get signed. There's so many little tiny little. I told you my shelf didn't hold it.
Oh, Jesus.
My tumbler fell. Okay. But you hear people like they want to get signed so quick, and they don't realize the hours, the sacrificing that you have to do. Like, you don't get to spend time with the family, right? We're not with the family a lot.
Right.
We're in school. Hey, sorry, I can't go to dinner, but it's my mom's birthday. My ex, I can't. I got school. I can't say, hey, sorry. This is it's living in a shitty ass apartment that's super cheap, not in the greatest neighborhood, but just you're not saving money. I'll be honest with you. When we were in the developmental, some guys maybe could, but not myself. But I remember also too. Danny Davis goes, hey, where are your wrestling boots? And I was wearing Magnums. Remember Magnums?
Yes.
The police shoes. I still think they're cool. Those were my travel shoes. I still have a pair. They're so comfortable, man. And no slip and all that kind of stuff. And I go, I didn't know I could get wrestling boots until you guys said you're allowed to get wrestling boots. I thought I was being too conceited coming in with wrestling boots, and I know nothing about wrestling.
Right.
So it was just like, there's a lot, how there's like a lot of underlying rules. Like, you just keep your mouth shut and your ears open.
Yes.
That's all you do. You don't talk back. If someone says, hey, why did you do this move? Well, you would say, can I explain what I thought in my head at the moment? And then you could tell me what I did wrong with the psychology. You know what I mean? Yes. But don't say, well, just because you didn't like the move. You just take information everywhere. And God, this is a hard sport, but of course I love it, and I'm very old school, so I miss the characters like Undertaker, Kane. Like I like the unusual characters, I miss that so much.
We might know a thing or two.
So much.
So we got a quick question from the audience. Did anyone quote unquote discover you for WWE? How'd you get in the door?
Okay, so Tori got signed with WCW, and she brought me back. We did fitness competitions together. So the not bodybuilding with bikini, and there was a dance routine with gymnastics, and there was an obstacle course like the Army. Okay, and so oh God, that was I got hurt so badly at those, but I still did them. But I moved in with Tori back then, and we became best friends from pre-wrestling. And she got signed with WCW. She goes, hey, come to the show. She brought me backstage, and I was watching it, and I was like, wow. I go, man, this is like gymnastics to me, And I was like, I think I can do that. And so she was trying to get me in the door at WCW, but it wasn't happening.
Yes.
Then China came into a health club that I was a personal trainer at in Los Angeles, and they charged her to come in. And I came with her a stack of guest passes with no expiration. I go, if you're ever in LA, just use these. And don't forget Los Angeles, West Hollywood area. There's a lot of celebrities, so they didn't give any freebies. You pay to come in because there was everybody there, right? And I went up to her. I go, hey, I have a couple friends that are in the business, Trish Stratus and Tori Wilson. You know, we're from the fitness industry. And she goes, wow. She goes, and I was jacked, you know, long hair and stuff like that, my nails done and stuff. And she goes, wow, you have a good look for wrestling. Have you ever thought about doing it? And I go, I think I can be an RVD or a Rey Mysterio because of all the flippity doodles. I think I said, okay, I was a gymnast. I think I can do that. And yeah, I don't want to be a high flyer. Thank God. That's too risky. But she said, yeah, you should send your stuff in. And I freaking spent $600 on a VHS tape, professionally edited, added music, sound effects on stuff. I just showed every side of me. And everybody always said, you need to find that audition tape. And I think WWE has it. I wouldn't even know what division to call to ask to see that again. But maybe I should ask the Vault, and they could the Vault, and they could show that. And you know, but it's $600 for that, and then I put a professional in a booklet, like all my 8x10s. And if I didn't have certain 8x10s that they were looking, I would try to fit the part, and sent it in. Kevin Kelly called me and he goes, I just want to say, hey, this is Kevin Kelly from WWF at the time. And he goes, Jim Ross just saw your package. And he goes, he's never seen something so professional. And we would like to meet you in Los Angeles. And I go, well, what do you see me doing? It was at Staples Center. What do you see me doing? As a sidekick or a wrestler? They go, we actually see you get in the ring. I Googled, it wasn't Google. I don't remember what it was.
Ask Jeeves, probably.
Yeah. I Googled pro wrestling school, found UPW, and told them that WWF wants to meet me in a month and I need to learn how to wrestle in a month. They beat the shit out of me. You don't learn how to wrestle in a month. That was the stupidest thing I've ever said. But I thought it was a routine and did not know, like, running the ropes, the back bruises and the scarring on your back, and then taking a bump. You know, as a gymnast, you land on your feet. Yes. You don't land on your back. You know what I mean? So it was a new business. And then I think someone told me in the fitness industry, Tori told me this, that someone said I didn't have the it factor for wrestling. You know, when someone tells you, and I was like, oh, you son of a bitch.
Exactly.
I'm gonna be fucking, excuse my language, amazing. I'm gonna make myself known, like, you know, as a wrestler. I'm gonna work hard. I'm gonna prove all these people that think this is a joke for me. And Godfather Ho thing opened up, and I knew that was my foot in the door. Was that what I wanted to do? No, but it was fun. It was so easy. And working with Godfather was a blessing. And he's so fun and just nice. And I got the okay from his wife to be one of his permanent hoes. And that was my foot in the door. And I remember Brooklyn Brawler saw me standing in the corner. I was watching from the bleachers, standing by the bleachers. And I was like, Brooklyn Brawler goes, what do you think of that? And I go, I'm going to do that someday. I don't want to be on the sidelines. I want to do that someday. He goes, have you talked to them? And then I went to JR and I said, he's the one that hired me. He was our talent relations. And I said, hey, I want to be a wrestler. And everybody's telling me, Jerry Lawler says I should move to Memphis. And he goes, oh, we didn't know this. And I go, what? I've been going to wrestling school when I'm not doing this. And I'm driving 3 hours there and 3 hours back, which is nothing, you guys. That's like when people say, well, it's 3 hours away for the school. Well, that's easy.
Yeah.
You know, some people go 8 hours away and spend the night in their car to go to the wrestling school to learn, right?
Yep.
And they came back the next weekend. We had a meeting about you. When can you get to Memphis? And I go, when do you need me? He goes, next week. Moved.
Yeah.
Lost my first and last deposit in Los Angeles, which wasn't cheap. and moved to Memphis, and the rest is history. My God, I was working with everybody in my developmental school, but made it. These teachers that they had for us, Bobby Eaton, like, William Regal, like all these people, they were huge that were coming in. They would actually send some of the legends out, they weren't maybe not permanent, but go out for a week and then teach us, it's incredible.
That's awesome.
But I'm so happy that, I'm sorry, Triple H is taking so much like that with that program. I'm sorry, the school.
Mm-hmm.
I'm blanking
The
out right
Performance
now,
Center?
but yes, the Performance Center. I mean, that's like, they have a green screen to practice your promos. I was horrible at promos. Like, it's just like there's someone to help you out everywhere.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's amazing. But you got to work hard and show yourself. If you want to make it in the business, have nice gear. It's expensive.
Oh, it is.
I get it. I'm on a budget here too. I live in San Diego. It's not cheap. I don't have a car. Got rid of it. It's too expensive. Gear, look the part, and just try to be unique, which is very hard to do in this business. Try to be a different character instead of just a badass. You know what I mean? You're going, what can I bring different that everybody goes, oh, that's the guy or girl that does this. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
That's hard to do. That's what's so unique about you. That's God, that's when you need to, what we did was studied old tapes, VHS tapes. We studied those, back when we started, they would give us a tape a night. Jim Cornette, here, take this. I'm going to ask you what you learned about it. So, yeah.
I guess when we scheduled with your people, they only put us down for 30 minutes. So
let's do another 5 because David is downstairs by the mailbox. I told him not to interrupt until we're done.
All right.
Okay. Let's do another 5 minutes.
All right.
Because I'm having fun, but I just don't, he's
I'm
off
happy.
at work. It's dinner time and stuff like that. Okay.
Right. As far as the training and stuff goes and everything that you went through, this is probably the highest compliment I've ever given a woman wrestler, and I've given it to very few. But you work like a man, and it set you apart in that time frame, and I loved every second of it. Did you ever see yourself? I know you said you want to do like the Rey Mysterio, flippy do dance, so to speak, but this style.
No, then I wanted to be like Stone Cold and Undertaker and Kane and Triple H. I wanted to be a badass. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Less is more. So,
yes, exactly.
Yes. So you work in that style in a era of, like you said, the Barbie dolls, the fitness models, stuff like that. Did you ever see you becoming this legend, so to speak, 20 years ago that you are today?
No, not at all. No. And the important thing about being in this business too is being humble, you guys. People, the fans are what make us. And it bothers me when I see people are at signings and then they're on their phone. You know what? This is for later. You're here for the people that support you. You know what I mean? And it pisses me off when I see people, no one's at their table, but they're scrolling. Well, they're not going to come to your table because they think you're busy. But when I was, you said I worked like a man. I was trained mostly by men. There was not very many girls in my school. There was Nydia, Jazz, Charmel, Sin, Jim Cornette's wife.
Yes.
There was just like very few. Molly Holly was at Memphis, but she got brought up right away. But then when we started working so much like guys. We got told backstage, hey, don't forget you guys are women. How do women get scrappy? They pull hair. They, and of course we were all insulted. We're like, how dare you?
Right.
How dare you tell me to work like a woman? We can still fight too, but we had to tone it down because we were starting to work too much like the men. But I take pride because I learned from the guys. And I think that also what set me apart, that I didn't have to do too much girly stuff.
Yes.
You know, I mean, like because of my size and what I look like. I think people looked at me like a tom. I was a tomboy. I am a tomboy,
Mhm.
and you know, I got away with more guy style
Mhm.
than some of the people. But I did when they did say that to us, I go, you know, I always pulled hair though, and I bit the nails off. That I mean, I did girly stuff,
Yeah.
but that's when it started. Like, yeah, someone pulled my pocket, the pocket came off, and it showed my booty. It's just like a little square.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you know, the sexiness got to be incorporated in it. You know what I mean? Yeah. But of course, it's the business. They're catering to what people want to see. So you know, and of course, I never got pissed off. This is a show. What do you want from this match? Okay, boss, I'll make it happen. You know what I
Right.
mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't go to the promoter and say, "Why am I losing?" You don't do that. You know what I mean? You know,
Yeah,
they just
no,
like
absolutely.
it's a storyline.
Not
It's a
supposed to do
storyline.
that.
They're not supposed to.
No,
Happens more
yeah,
often
but
than I
it's changed a lot. I think people are like, well, you know, I've been here for this long. Why am I losing? Well, you know, you got to give other people a chance. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Show them that they're gravy and pass the torch.
Mhm.
You know?
We've got a request for you to start doing watch-alongs of your matches on
I
Twitch.
do
You do?
on my Twitch.
Oh, okay. Kendall, she
I
does.
do watch alongs. Yeah, but I've been incorporating Q&A. Now I got the PlayStation, but I do watch alongs of my matches, and I had ODB on me with me watching a match that we've done, and I just it's you know how it is asking talent to do an interview.
Yes.
I don't want to like for me, I go, oh my God, I don't want them to think I'm reaching out to be on my Twitch, but I do want to watch it with Mickey. I do want to watch our matches like the people that I was in it, but I don't want to overstep my boundary as a friend.
I understand that.
Yeah, understood.
Even though they would do anything for you, but I just, you know, it's you know how difficult it is, you know how we are. But yeah, I'll be doing more watch alongs. I was doing one TNA, then the next week it was WWE, then the TNA. Like I was alternating. I would do TNA, whatever, WWE, TNA, Q&A. Because when I'm
Okay.
doing a watch along, people were asking me questions, but I can't pay attention
Right.
to the screen when I'm doing a watch along.
Right.
So I would miss everything. So it's like, let me do a separate Q&A, you know? But hey, look at this. Well, look at what I made.
Hey,
Whoops.
hey, you biggest. Yeah. Are you just cuddling up with me? Victoria, thank you so much for being a widow.
All right, we need that for right here.
Hey.
Okay, so I have these made, and so people can buy this 2 different pillows, and I customize what to say in my recorder.
Nice.
It has to be PG. Nothing. Someone asked me something nasty, and I go, "No, are you kidding me? No, I'm not doing
The
that."
hell?
Hey, my birthday.
Yeah, you know, come on. I canceled my OnlyFans too. That was creepy.
Oh
Hated
God.
Hated it. Not for me.
Mm-mm.
You know, not respectful at all.
None,
You
not
just-
at all.
yeah.
So where can we get one of those
I wanna
dolls?
say
What's
thank
your?
you so much for having me.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
I would love a T-shirt. I love a T-shirt. I can take a picture in it and send it to you guys.
Oh, without question. Yeah,
Yes.
I'll hit you back on IG and get a
Don't
shipping
rush.
address.
Don't rush, Dirk.
Yeah, no worries.
Don't rush on it.
So tell everybody where they can find you.
I am everywhere, you guys. Oh my, this too much. This social media platform is ridiculous. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I have 2 Facebooks. One's private. It's not private anymore.
Hold on a second. Hold on one second. Can you? I think we lost you. Can you hear us? Okay, I can't hear you anymore. But we will get back. It's all right. It's all right. We appreciate you so much. We're gonna have you back though, because this was fun. I really enjoyed this. But I'll hit you on IG and get a shirt out to you, and I'll let you know when the video and podcast comes out. So thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon. All right. That was fucking awesome.
Give me five. Yeah, son. Yeah.
Now, before all of you drop off, because I know you're just here to see Victoria.
Oh, so was I. I'm about to head out too.
Please like and subscribe. We have 3 tiers of memberships. Check them out. Talking merch at cost. We're talking some other good perks.